It's Tuesday, September 6th, 2011. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight we're back from PAX Prime 2011.
Let's do this.
And we're back from PAX Prime 2011.
Which means going to work.
6 months until PAX is what that means.
That's all right.
And then 6 months.
So work, we're not.
Maybe less.
I was They were renovating the office stupidly, but anyway.
Nah.
Enough about that. The point is, as it relates to me, that I was temporarily moved upstairs to where they subletted part of someone else's office.
All right.
That ended. I'm back in our office in what used to be a conference room, which is now full of desks. And the main problem I'm having is this room is a woman. It doesn't matter if, it's 90 degrees outside. This room has 4 or 5 people in it and air conditioning, and it might as well be fucking outer space in this room.
I have not had nice things to say about any building I've worked in the city. It seems like the hotter it gets outside...
I was fine before all this renovating happened.
The hotter it gets outside, the colder it gets inside.
Anyway, so I need, I'm like, well, I'll get me a hoodie to wear at work.
What hoodie are you going to get?
Well, I have a Mets hoodie and a Giants hoodie. Can't really wear a Mets hoodie. That's kind of sad. Giants hoodie, well, football is starting, so I wore it today. But, A, it's a thin hoodie. It's not, one of those thick ones that will really keep me warm. And 2, Giants are looking like they're going to be kind of sad.
So wait, Scott. You're what they call a fair weather fan.
What? No.
You're not going to show Mets pride unless they're winning?
Well, no, listen. I'm not changing what I'm a fan of.
But you're keeping it private.
No, I'm not hiding this information.
So why will you not wear the Mets hoodie? I mean, it's just a hoodie. You don't care what people think of you.
It's not about what people think.
All right, then what's it about?
It is about luck.
Uh-huh.
It's like if you have a totem for, the losing god, that doesn't help.
So, wait, you wearing it will give the Mets bad luck, or the Mets will give you bad luck?
Both ways.
Uh-huh.
Just like you can't buy someone's jersey because it means they're going to get injured the next week.
You know what? I have a Sergei Fedorov jersey that I got way long time ago, and he never really got injured.
Well, the best way to go is to get a jersey of someone who is awesome and is long since retired, because if you buy a jersey while someone's still playing or early in the career, something's going to happen that's going to make your money a waste of money. Right? And it's like, even then, it's like, you might get something and the guy might retire afterwards and have a long, good career. And you think, yeah, I got my money's worth out of this jersey. And then turns out to be a criminal or something later on.
I think the most likely bad outcome is autoerotic asphyxiation.
That's
Seems to be the
problem.
going thing.
Yeah. But anyway, so I go online to look for some hoodies.
There aren't really that many good nerdy hoodies.
I went to Threadless. I went to Think Geek. I went to Busted Tees. I went to those people who come to PAX all the time with the Bit Boy shirt with the flying Game Boy.
No.
Fun something, fan gamer. I went to them. I went to just about every purveyor. I went to Topetico. I went to every purveyor of nerdy apparel that is related to the nerdies that I have. Animes, manga, comics, video games, everything. Could not find one hoodie that, there were plenty of hoodies that, for example, I fully endorse, such as Dr. McNinja Shark High Five.
So why not get that hoodie?
Because it's kind of dorky, right?
It's not dorky if you own it. You got to own it. You got to double down.
If I was in high school, that would be awesome. But it is not styling for wearing it in the office.
I don't know. I feel like it is retro styling.
As
long as you own it.
I don't think so.
You can't own things?
It's
you own the kilt?
Too many of the hoodies out there, even if they had something on them that I endorsed, did not have the, a high-class visual style to them.
I should simply like if I had to buy a hoodie right now, what I want is a very subtle, very classy My Little Pony design. Like some vector art, maybe a little, like a cutie mark, and that's it.
I may invest in a solid colored hoodie because everything else seems to be fail. And that'll be that.
I would not mind a hoodie of my current desktop background in some fashion.
It's not too bad.
Of all the Rainbow Dashes, this is
But
my
you know how
favorite
Penny
right now.
Arcade has that first party, which is like polo shirts with a tiny little logo on them?
Yeah.
Right? We need like that, but with a hoodie.
Uh,
They don't make a first party hoodie.
Well, you don't really put a polo mark on a hoodie.
I'm just saying you don't do that exactly, but I'm saying that same kind of, high class style.
Maybe.
High class hoodie.
I don't know. I bet if I looked, I could find a nice high-class hoodie.
High brow.
Or Scott, you know what a high-class garment is that you wear when you're cold and you don't want to look like a doofus? A suit.
Yeah, not wearing a suit to work.
I wear a suit every day.
Not biking in a suit.
Leave a suit
Not
at the
going in a
office.
suit in the rain. Not wearing shoes.
Just leave like 5 suits at the office.
Where am I going to leave them?
You don't have a giant closet just for suits?
There is no closet for anything. No one has a
The
closet.
fuck?
There are no closets.
I've never worked anywhere in my life where I didn't have a closet. If not a personal closet, at least a shared, safe closet in a communal area.
None closets.
So, in the video game news, I've done this a couple of times in the distant past. I want to talk about something that isn't news that people are pretending is news because it bothers me.
That happens all the time.
So, but
usually I'm complaining about tech news that's actually business news.
So, here's the thing. It's on Slashdot and made the rounds about some people who played Breakout on a building like has been done for over a decade. Nothing special, but they did it by using a Kinect.
So which part of your body did you move to move the paddle back and
Whole
forth?
body.
So you have to run back and forth?
Yeah, you gotta like move your body, like lean to the left, lean to the right.
Oh, just leaning, not running?
Yeah, because they can't see you if you run.
Lame. Oh, that's true. What if you strung up a bunch of Kinects horizontal to each other?
You'd have
and
to
they
write
could-
some software to handle
Right,
that.
and the Kinects, basically each Kinect would pick you up, and when you got to the left of one Kinect, it would put you in
That
the...
might have been news, but I can't, like, this is making the rounds, and I don't know why. I mean, playing Breakout or Pac-Man or something on the side of the building that happens all the time. Like, people just did that at RIT more than once.
Yeah.
And the Kinect part, it's like, all right, you did a kind of cool but derivative thing, and you simultaneously used a really crappy controller for it. I mean, how is this making the rounds? Like, who is impressed by this as something new or interesting?
Non-technological people.
Maybe.
Unsophisticated people.
That's all I got.
All right.
That's my news.
So there's this game coming out. It's actually out already on Xbox. It'll be out on September 7th.
How did I not know this game was coming? I just must have.
I knew it was coming. I just didn't investigate it that
But
much.
like, I didn't see it at PAX. I figured it would be
I
there.
also didn't see
in
it at
some
I think
fashion.
it was there, maybe, but I didn't. Anyway,
I did not see it.
I didn't see it there either. I saw it elsewhere. But anyway, it's called Rock of Ages. It's going to be out on Steam on the September 7th, which it's probably already September 7th because right now I'm talking and it's 7 o'clock on September 6th. And the trailer for this game is unbelievable.
I don't even know if we should really say what happens in this trailer.
This is like Terry Gilliam makes a video game.
I'll put it this way.
That's some combination of Marble Madness and
You have
defense.
You have two options
versus
here.
Marble. I don't know how it works, but
You've
it's
got two
awesome.
options. You can either watch the trailer and then buy the game, or just buy the game.
Yeah, don't get the trial. Just buy the game.
I mean, how expensive can it be? And even if it sucks, I feel like
it's like $9 on Steam, something like that.
I feel like playing this against other people, even if it only lasts a couple days.
I wonder if they let you play it against other people.
I saw a split screen they were showing.
Really?
Yeah. That was in the trailer. You showed me.
It's $9 on Steam. Let me get the infos here.
Yeah, because seriously, it's one of those games where if there is a multiplayer component, I'm pretty sure there is, it will not be played too far out into the future, most likely. Well, I doubt it will be the best game ever, but
a rock-solid combination of rock-rolling action, deep strategy, and captivating art and music from different ages of history. This is a game of crush or be crushed. Two castles stand opposed. One is yours. The other is your enemy's. They're a jerk, and their castle sucks, so you're going to try to smash it using an enormous boulder.
Huh.
Single-player, multiplayer, Steam.
So let me put it this way. It's one of those games where it may or may not be good, but even if it's bad, the week or so we're going to get of multiplayer on this bullshit is going to be awesome.
I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah,
I already pre-ordered it, and I'm just waiting to download it tomorrow.
Yeah, so kids in the forum, we're going to be playing this weekend.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, things of the day. I got a quickie, actually. I have something horrible about deep fried bubblegum, but I figured I should save that.
All right.
Also, it kind of makes me nauseous just to think about deep fried bubblegum as a food.
Wait a minute. So you take the gum before it's been chewed.
So actually,
You put
what
the
it
funnel
is,
cake on it, so you chew it, and you get the immediate funnel cake flavor, and then after that, it's like a blow pop where you chew.
so apparently it's actually marshmallow with bubblegum flavoring in it, dipped in batter, fried, covered in icing, sprinkled with powdered sugar, and I believe fried again.
So no part of it is actually bubblegum except for bubblegum flavoring on the marshmallow.
Yes.
Yeah, so
It won
you
some-
just eat it. You don't chew
It
it.
won some like Texas contest for most fucked up food at a fair.
Wait, most fucked up, but not best tasting or anything.
Also best.
Oh, okay.
It won the contest, which nominally was the best, but I argue is the most fucked up. Because somehow,
It probably tastes great.
the flapjack did not win.
Just the plain old flapjack?
The buffalo chicken in a flapjack
Oh, okay.
is
This is not a
described
plain
as,
old
quote,
flapjack.
a buffalo chicken strip coated in flapjack batter, rolled in jalapeno breadcrumbs, deep fried, skewered, served with a side of syrup.
I think that if it was...
Or fried salsa, spicy medley of jalapenos, roasted garlic, onion, tomato, and pepper, dipped in masa, covered in tortilla chips,
And
served on a creamy queso.
Here's the problem with that flapjack,
Yeah?
right? Is that they used a buffalo chicken in there. If they had used, say, the Korean fried spicy chicken, right?
I might die.
Then they would have beaten the bubblegum marshmallow, not bubblegum.
This raises an important point. We have not been back to that Korean fried chicken place in quite some time.
That is true.
I think we should rectify this. Conrad's back in town.
Let's go.
Yeah. So anyway, fuck that. My real thing of the day is a very important chart of evolution of something near and dear to all of you. The humble video game controller. Because as I learned when I was playing some, I did the same thing you did. I went through the Omegathon finale just to see how I could do it, and I videoed it and recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
And Xbox 360 controller, even the new one, its D-pad does not quite make it compared to the original NES Plus.
Are you blaming me be doing better than you?
I don't know if
your-
you did better. I don't know how. I didn't watch your video.
I did basically perfect.
In fact, the only thing that I think is unfair is that we both saw the Omegathon, so if one of us did not actually remember the way to Aquamentus, we knew it then.
That's true. I did have a slight memory refresh from watching the Omegathon.
Because had I gone
cannot
into
deny.
it not having seen the Omegathon finale, I have a feeling I would have opened one of the wrong doors with the key first, but as soon as I got in there, I'd be like, oh, fuck, and gone back.
Yeah, I also knew exactly how many keys I needed and where they all were.
Yeah, I feel like I would not have remembered that had I not just watched the Omegathon.
Actually...
See, I don't know. There's the thing. I want to say I would, but I can't say for sure. I'm going to err on the
thing
side
is,
of
when I was
caution.
watching the Omegathon, I knew where to go and what to do, so...
Yeah, as evidenced by the yelling.
Yes, anyway. So I was going to use ponies as my thing of the day because I've been holding out, and basically ponies keep building up. But you know what? I, at the last second, found a thing of the day classic that was never used as a thing of the day.
What? Are you sure?
100% sure. So, way back in the day, RIT days, we liked to play Zelda 1.
We did.
And we also...
Oh, you're using this?
Yeah.
I can't... Really? I'm pretty sure we talked about this.
It was not a thing of the day. I searched.
Huh.
So anyway, so yeah, we like to play Zelda 1 and we beat it, and we like to play Zelda Second Quest and we beat that.
When did you beat it?
Second Quest?
Yeah, as a kid? Or did you go back and beat it later?
No, when I was a kid, I could never find level fucking 8.
I found level 8. What I could not find at the end of the game was the fucking silver arrows. I wrote a letter to Nintendo Power, and they sent me back a full color map showing where the silver arrows were.
Nice. Where's that map at?
Probably in the same place that like my Zelda 1 cart and everything is in Arizona.
So I think I polished off level 8 and whatever after internets was better one summer. I think this like summer
Better after internets existed as far as we were concerned.
Yeah, so I was able to search and figure out where level 8 was on the internets in like summer of 01, 02, something like that when I was home. Anyway, when what? I don't know. Anyway, I definitely was at home summer after college. Anyway, there was a mod for Zelda 1. Basically, the way this works is you download a legit ROM of regular old Zelda 1, then you download this other thing, and it patches the ROM, and it makes a new Zelda game called The Legend of Zelda Outlands, a.k.a. Zelda C, a.k.a. Zelda Challenge Outlands.
AKA fuck this game.
Fuck this game, fuck this game, fuck this game. So we downloaded this game way back in the day when it first came out, and we tried to play it at RIT on our emulators in like 02, 03, and you couldn't even get past like 3 screens of
I remember
Overworld.
going into this at RIT, we were like, yeah, we're good at video games, let's go. And I go up, and there's no old man to give me a sword, and I didn't know what to do. And then I wandered around dying until eventually I run into Zelda, who says, and I quote, "It's me, Zelda. I found your sword."
I like it when you go to a Goron and he's like, "We Gorons have rock bottom prices." But yeah, no, it's a real. This game is basically.
This is a triumph of ROM hacking.
It's impossible Zelda. They may if you're out there thinking, man, I wish there was Nintendo would make a game just like Zelda 1, but what was just a new Zelda 1. Well, that game exists. It's Zelda C.
Now,
it's
granted,
hard as balls.
I would simply argue that while it's hard as balls, and it is kind of fun, Zelda 1 Second Quest was not as good a game as Zelda 1 First Quest.
It's
because
true.
there were more arbitrary bullshit secrets.
Walk into this wall.
Yeah. Now you didn't just have to bomb every wall. You had to bomb every wall and walk into every wall.
It has the Wolfenstein 3D aspect of touch every wall.
Which...
At least in Zelda, there's only 4 per room.
What amazes me is that now I think about that, I'm like, oh, really? And I'm going around like pushing against every wall because I don't fucking remember the second quest worth anything.
Just bring a...
But I'm not going to rate a fact.
No.
Because I am playing the second quest right now.
Good luck.
I got almost one piece of the Triforce.
Great.
But
easy to get one piece.
Yeah, and not as easy as you'd think, though.
It's not the one piece, it's a one piece.
You walk into that one room, and there's a bunch of Stafflos. You're like, all right, Stafflos.
And then the Gibdo in the first dungeon.
Does like 4 hearts of damage against my 3 hearts of life.
Yeah.
Never mind the blue. Well, anyway. But I don't know. When I was a kid, when I learned from a friend that you could just push through some walls and walk through them, instead of getting angry, I got excited. And I went back home and gleefully for the next like 7 hours pushed against every wall in every dungeon just to see.
But now it's like, I
don't know what trigger in my brain flipped from this is awesome to fuck this.
To like, I think what it is that when you're a kid, right, the reward of discovery of secrets is like so great. Like just discovering a hidden thing is just like so magical that you don't even notice the work you put into finding it, right? Whereas now, it's not like it's totally demystified and there's no magic of discovery because we know it's there. And it's just the manual labor that we have to put into it is so monotonous and mind-numbing, right? Because we're smarter. That it's that work as a kid, I guess to a kid it doesn't feel as monotonous and mind-numbing because your mind isn't numbed yet. To us, it's like repetitive, monotonous manual labor.
There's more to it than that. It also just comes down to the fact that it was exploration and there was no other option. I mean, back then, I'm searching around Zelda and there's no one to tell me where anything is. There's no game facts. So everything I discovered was like social currency. You could go to friends when you were a kid, when we were growing up, and say things like, I found a fucking secret that you don't know about, and they wouldn't believe you. And you'd take them home and you'd show it to them and they'd flip their shit.
Yep.
Like, I remember showing a kid the Minus World.
Kids now can't even do that.
There was this, like, legends would rise. I mean, remember, like, a classic example. You can totally bring General Leo back from the dead.
Yep.
You can totally bring Param and Param back from the dead.
Yep.
Totally bring Telos back from the dead. Spoilers.
Yeah, I mean the Minus World was crazy enough, right? People would talk about it, and you'd have a friend who had read it in a Nintendo Power or something, but then couldn't do it, so you wouldn't believe him.
And kids would make shit up. I had one friend who kept saying he jumped over the flagpole.
Yeah, I had plenty of friends who would be like, yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. I was in the arcade watching some dude play, and you saw Sonya's tits. Oh man.
Yep.
Anyway. So Zelda C, I dare you to fucking play this shit.
I dare you to... I don't even dare you to beat it, because that's not fair. That's like daring someone to punch themselves in the dick.
I dare you to even find the first dungeon.
It's telling that in the screenshots they got here, it shows 3 games. You know, and you know how in Zelda, the number under your name is the number of times you've died? It shows someone with some items who may have beaten the game. He's died 93 times. I, in Zelda's second quest... am almost at the Triforce, and I've died 3 times. So very briefly, the meta moment. To all you new listeners from PAX, this is where we do all the announcements about the show and community shit that you might not care about.
We got any?
We do. The book club book is The Ear, the Eye, the Arm.
Have you read it yet? I'm ready.
It hasn't arrived yet.
Great.
It shipped, so I'll have it soon. It's a short read. I'll read it like as soon as I get it.
All right, we'll do the episode real soon because we plan to do one a month, and it's already the second month.
Yeah, we'll let it go a month, and then we'll be good.
All right.
That's it.
We're doing a worst webcomic contest. We're going to do that real soon.
It's pretty much over.
Like next week.
So unless there's a webcomic that you really, really hate that isn't Control-Alt-Delete because that's already been submitted a bunch of times, then there'll be a link to it. Otherwise, if you saw us at PAX and you wanted more of what you saw, 2 of our lectures, soon to be 3, from PAX East 2011, are up on YouTube, and I will link to them.
All right. You should go to our internets in general, frontrowcrew.com, Facebooks, Twitters, etc.
Yep, all that stuff. Also, if you were talking to us about ponies, you might want to know that we did a pilot of a show called Radio Free Equestria. And many of you have been bothering
People
me.
didn't seem to understand that was a pilot, and they're like, where's the more episodes?
I get so much shit about that show every day. When's it coming? When's it coming? I don't even know how these people found my email address.
It's a pilot. How do you know it's even coming?
So, it's coming. Just hold tight, you bronies. And last but not least, many people, relative to how many I expected, which was 0, came up to us at PAX and said, oh my god, you guys should have been at PAX Dev. So if you were one of those people, you should tell the Penny Arcade people, and then we will present at PAX Dev.
And Rim, do something about merch.
I got to make some more merch.
All right.
One of the constants in my life, one of the most, not the most important things, but something that keeps me going every day that I always think about is that every 6 months, at most, I get to go to PAX.
Aw, shit.
I really, we've been going to conventions for a long time.
It's like going to Mecca, only twice as often.
I mean, it's interesting that
and
the newness...
twice as close.
The newness has faded. Like, the first PAX we went to was kind of hard to replicate, because it's like when you're a kid, you go to that first Otakon, you walk into that dealer's room, and you just have, you can't believe it.
Yep.
And the first PAX was kind of like that. And now we're older. We've gone to many PAXs, and yet... the wonder is still there. It's just kind of shifted into different directions.
Well, because what it is, it's like, it's like, imagine if there was an amusement park with a bunch of roller coasters, right? And it opened, but it's only open for 2-3 days. So you go and you ride as many rides as you can. Then it closes. Next year, it opens for exactly 3 days. So you go back and you ride as many rides as you can, but the rides you got enough of the first time, you maybe don't pay much attention to.
But now you're riding the rides that were there last year that you didn't ride quite so much.
Right. I mean, even if there's an amusement park that's open every single day of the year, most people only go to it once a year at most, right? Usually less often than that. So it's like you keep going back to the same amusement park every single year. Eventually, it's like, I've ridden all these before, even though they're still pretty great. Maybe I'll ride it again if I haven't done it in a few years.
But you might go chill. When I was a little kid and I'd go to Cedar Point, I would see the shows. I'd be running, not walking, on my way to get in line for a roller coaster. And I'd see there's some live music in that restaurant. Who the fuck would go into that restaurant and waste 5 minutes when they could be in line for a roller coaster?
Someone who's ridden that roller coaster 20 times.
Yeah, 10 years later, I was in that restaurant watching the live show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to hear, the full review of PAX as a convention, listen to all our other PAX episodes, because all that stuff really doesn't change. We're only going to talk about the things that were unique that we experienced at this PAX.
So the one thing I noticed overall at this PAX Prime 2011, right?
Yep.
Was it seemed like, I'm not saying Penny Arcade sold out, right? I mean, if you're going to say Penny Arcade sold out, you'd have to say that when Robert Koo first came on and they started selling ads.
Let's qualify this even broader. And I said this to Aaron C. and a couple other people too, because I think it's very apt. Whenever we criticize PAX, the criticisms added up kind of round down to 0 compared to, all the positives we don't always talk about because they're a given. I very rarely think to say, I played 1,000 games. Because that's just a given. Of course, it's PAX. I played a bunch of games. Instead, I say, I saw a star. We'll talk about the stars in a bit.
All right, so, obviously you can't say Penny Arcade is sold out, but PAX was sold a little bit more than it has been in the past, right?
But the majority of it did not affect the convention. It was all surface stuff, like Firefall.
Right.
That game can't be good. And my rationale for saying it's not good is that they, I think, spent more money on advertising at PAX than everybody else combined spent on advertising.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, usually each company that wants to sell something sponsors one thing, right? So, Dragon Age will get the hotel key cards, and and someone else will get the big banners hanging on the ceiling, and someone else will get the bags, and somebody else will get the stickers on the escalator, and someone else will have the biggest booth
I don't
in the
even
expo hall.
remember seeing stickers on escalators before.
Yeah, someone else, each different company, someone will have a car that drives around town advertising their game.
Firefall had the equivalent of one guy following every individual attendee around yelling, Firefall! Firefall!
Every single,
Firefall!
right? Now, on top of that, you had Halo Fest. Right?
Now,
which
to
is
be
an
fair,
entire gigantic space of the convention devoted to one game series.
Here's the thing. I don't want to be down on it for the wrong reasons.
It was their anniversary, and I doubt they'll do it again.
No, but I'm saying I don't want to be down on it for the wrong reasons. For example, had that been Counter-Strike Fest, I would have thought it was awesome. So,
probably.
From the perspective of people who like Halo, that was awesome. My complaint about Halo Fest is only that Halo Fest itself did not do much. If it was Counter-Strike Fest and I went up to it and it had the equivalent content of Halo Fest, it would have gotten like a 6 out of 10. Like, all right, that was cool. It wasn't worth the amount of space it took up, though.
Yeah, that space could have been used for the convention, but I'm sure Microsoft paid a lot of money for it.
Mainly because they had a private VIP party for much of Saturday night.
Yeah.
Or Friday night.
Yeah. There were other, just little things about. For example, the Penny Arcade merch booth, right? As every PAX I've ever been to, including East, the way it's worked is they were always bundle deals, right? The way the bundle works is like T-shirt, this much money. Poster, this much money. Hey, if you get a T-shirt and a poster, it's less than the price of both of those separately, right? This year, they changed that. Now, the way it worked was, hey, everything is the price it is. If you spend at least $50, we'll give you this patch. If you spend $70, we'll give you this other thing.
I sell you this hat, $5.
The only thing I wanted was a $20 shirt.
But you thought about buying something more.
Well, I wanted the patch.
Yep.
But I didn't want to spend any more money.
Yep.
So I didn't get the patch.
You know what that's called? It's called mechanism fucking design. We've done panels on that.
Right. But, it was a change that was, in the money-making department.
However, that didn't bother me that much because
No, I'm not saying it bothered me. I'm just saying that that was one of the trends of this year's PAX was a slight amount of outselling.
But we have to say again, rounds down to zero. For example, New York Comic Con, New
they
York Anime
expanded
Festival,
the size of the expo hall in general.
Yeah,
right?
the fact that there were 2 expo halls was a little much, but there was actually a lot going on in the expo hall. If you had removed all the Firefall content from the expo hall, they would have only needed 1.
That's true.
Meanwhile,
to
talk
Halo
about the
Fest.
expo hall. All right, so Firefall has like this gigantic booth. You know what people were lined up for? Borderlands 2 and Counter-Strike Go.
Counter-Strike Go,
was.
Borderlands 2. These were the kinds of things that had gigantic lines. The Zelda game on the Wii, the Skyward Sword, it had lines, but not like the lines for the other things. I think it's just because they had so many stations. And I think part of it, right, is that some of these games, what they do, for example, Counter-Strike Go, they bring in X number of people on 2 teams, they play X rounds, 1 or 2, how many rounds, and then you leave, and then new people come in.
Though we had an awesome moment.
Right, whereas Zelda Skyward Sword, they're these self-running demo stations. You walk up, you play as long as you're going to play, and then you walk away. So it's like some people walk up for 2 seconds and leave. So, that's why they don't need this big lineup. I think they'd be a lot better off, the Counter-Strike guys. They wouldn't have this big line building up if you could just walk up, play Counter-Strike, walk away.
Well, what they need to do, Spy Party, they really know what's up. They had 3 stations. One was, I've never played Spy Party before, and I don't know what the deal is. One was...
and I've read the manual.
Yes.
They had little blue manuals you had to read before you could play.
The second one was, I know what's up. And the third one was, I somehow have played this game as much as someone who will buy this game has played
at conventions.
it.
Yeah, the thing is, I already signed up for the beta, so I don't need to play it.
Yeah, but once again, just to point out, the main person behind Spy Party knows what's up.
Yeah, Chris Hecker is the smartest dude. I actually talked to him this time.
We talked to him just to be like, look, you're one of the few people we've ever seen on a panel at a convention like PAX who had any relation to game design and or journalism who knew what was up.
Yeah, anything he does, keep an eye on
Like,
it.
he's on the short list.
Just like you should keep an eye on the guy who does Space Chem.
Yep.
And
or Monaco. Monaco's
the
up
Monaco
there.
guy, the Jason Rohrer guy.
Though we had a cool moment. We were walking, around, in the expo hall, we saw this guy with a really awesome like Counter-Strike jersey kind of shirt.
Yeah, it was like a bowling shirt, but it said Counter-Strike on
We're
it.
like, what up?
And
Awesome
he's-
shirt. Where'd you get it? And the guy's like, I made Counter-Strike.
He didn't make Counter-Strike, but he was a guy
Well,
who
that's what he said. He's like, I made Counter-Strike. We're like, what? He's like, well,
he's been working on Counter-Strike for a few years, right? So like
He was
since
cool.
CSORs. He was a cool dude. He was actually older. Like he must have been 40 or 50 something, right?
Yeah.
But he worked on Counter-Strike. I was like, damn, thanks. Counter-Strike's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't play Counter-Strike at the con. We could have. We were
I
offered,
looked over someone else's shoulder while they played it.
We were
with
offered by
an
multiple people
Xbox controller
to skip to the front of the line, but they only had Xbox controllers. I don't really care. The game looked like Counter-Strike. The only thing that didn't look right was that everybody playing was kind of the slow turret turn.
Yeah,
The I have an Xbox controller turn.
yeah, where it sort of has like this motion blur, and there's like a little time.
People
as you
weren't really looking
rotate.
up and down so much. They were
No.
kind of sweeping left and right at head level.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there's one guy, though, I kept seeing him jump down from above, and no one ever saw him because he never looked up, and just stabbing people.
Nice.
That guy knew what was up.
Yeah. Well, he knew what was down. The other guy.
The other guy didn't know what was up.
Yeah. I saw some people who knew. I talked to this guy. I just, I was standing there watching other people play Counter-Strike, just looking over their shoulder.
Yep.
Some guy next to me was doing the same thing. We chatted up. He was a nice guy, just a random con goer. And he talked about, he's been playing Counter-Strike since Source. And I was like, all right.
It's like when we went to that panel at MagFest. The guy's like, I've been playing D&D for a long time. I started with, 3rd edition. And
man.
we're old now. We're those guys.
Anyway.
Anyway, so I think the game I'm most excited about that I didn't know about pre-PAX was a game called Airmech.
I played Aeromech for like a good 10 minutes while talking to one of the guys who worked on it. And it's an action Robotron plus RTS. It was great. Only later, and I was like comparing it to all these other games, but only later did I realize that it's basically modern Herzog Zwei or Zwei or however you're supposed to say it. And
I'd heard that word. I'd seen those.
I knew that Herzog Zwei was a Genesis game, but I didn't realize looking at Aeromech that it was Herzog Zwei because I never played a lot of Herzog Zwei, but now I do know.
Yep.
But yeah,
the thing is, it's
Aeromech
not-
looks hot.
Yeah, it looks like it has everything I like about RTSs without all the stuff I hate about RTSs.
I played
Mostly-
it for a long time. I'm sold. When it comes out, I'm going to pay for it.
Yep. And
End of
actually,
story.
World of Tanks, despite some issues I take with the business model and the design and everything, it looks actually really fun.
I installed the demo disc that came in the goodie bag. I'm going to try it out tonight.
They also had a German tank, like a real one at the con, and that was actually pretty cool.
It was cool. It was a tank.
Yep. Well, they kept pointing it at people in the crowd. Like they had the gun, they'd whirled around. There's a pretty great picture of me. They gave me the shell to hold on to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So, the cornerstones of every PAX, there's 3. There's like 3 that you have to see. One is the concerts, which we don't have to see anymore. We've seen a million. It starts with the keynote. It ends with the Omegathon finale. And no offense to Jaffe, this is the worst PAX keynote I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it started out, David Jaffe, all I knew about him was that he was an outspoken sort of internet gaming personality and that he had worked on Twisted Metal, which is the PlayStation game where you drive around in the clown car shooting other cars. It's
Great game.
It's like versus 3D Spy Hunter, not Spy Party. And I knew that he worked on God of War, which is a Greek-styling, action puzzly game with the third-person camera walk around and hit things.
But I tweeted about it. I'm not going to
Which
plug
I've
my
never
tweet.
played.
But at one point, I was just like, is this going anywhere? Because basically, he just swore a whole bunch. And he had a message. He actually had a couple of really good messages. Like, they are inspiring, important messages. But they were buried in a sea of obscenity, personal rants that no one cares about, personal drama, and name dropping.
Yeah.
Like,
He pretty much told his story of his career from his perspective, and what he went through to get from, working
yep. He went on forever about a lawsuit that really just was not relevant.
Yeah, he complained about the time he was sued a lot.
And he complained about other people doubting him, and he complained about everything. And I don't know, it wasn't inspiring. It was kind of rambly and ranty. I was really underwhelmed. It was the first time ever I've not been almost choked up by a keynote at PAX.
Yeah.
I mean, even Will Wheaton got me a little choked up. Even though he played the Woo game, he was
That's all
very-
he did.
Yeah, but still, it was kind of an inspiring talk. He was like, look, this made us who we are. Gaming makes us who we are. Let's celebrate the shit out of this.
I still think the best one that I've seen so far that I was at was the guy who worked at LucasArts.
Oh, yeah. Well, he gave a really solid speech.
What was his name?
Also got me really choked up.
Yeah.
Jane McGonigal got me the most choked up. And
Really
also,
choked up? I think hers was great, but
It was
I
great.
wasn't choked up.
no, just I got a little, like, not choked up. Like, not like watching Madoka.
Yeah.
But more like I was really like inspired, and I thought about her speech a lot after I listened to it. The only thing I remember from Jaffrey's speech is fuck, shit, fuck, ass, vagina,
Yeah,
fuck,
this,
penis,
I don't
fuck,
mind
motherfucker.
swearing. Swear away, right? But look at the Penny Arcade guys. They swear, but they're not just saying nothing but swears, right? It's
And
like
it wasn't.
it's not. It
relevant.
doesn't matter. He could have been saying some other word. He could have been saying frou-frou, but he said that, it's like if you use any word repeatedly too many times, no matter if it's a swear word or not, that's, it's like, what?
About the only thing he had right was that he talked about how he realized eventually, like in the course of all his work and everything, that the games that actually are remembered and that are actually popular and that are really good games from any kind of reasonably objective standard are the ones that are actually games.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I was pleased about was how, this is like one of those guys who wanted to go and be a filmmaker, right? But ended up being a game maker instead. He wanted to be a visual storyteller, couldn't get that job, but could get a game making job, but ended up making games that were mostly movies, full of FMVs and story and whatnot, and that's, the God of War and all that stuff. So, but the fact that person realized that the games that are basically movies that you push buttons sometimes don't really have the staying power, right? And that the games with the staying power are the games that are games, the Tetris, the Sims. Even you may not like some of these games, but these are the staying power games.
Here
The
it
fact
is.
that he learned the lesson that we've been trying to teach people is reassuring.
So here's first I tweeted, I'm like, Jaffy set a new world record for the use of the word fuck, vagina, and fucking in a PAX keynote. And then a bunch of other stuff. And finally I'm like, fuck, fucking, motherfucker, shit, Sony, vagina, fuck, lawsuit, high concept. He said that like 100 times. Fucking, game mechanics, fuck. And people were quoting that as a summary of the keynote, which is a pretty accurate summary.
Yeah, so I think, PAX, there's plenty of people out there to
Get
do
Will right.
keynotes.
Get Will right.
Here are some
Do
suggestions.
whatever it takes to get Will right.
Here are some suggestions, Will Wright.
Will right.
I don't know what kind of person he is.
You know what?
But
Miyamoto.
what?
Get Miyamoto to do it.
He can't speak English.
So
that
who
well.
cares? Translator. I don't
Sure.
care.
Another good choice would be I don't know how good his speaking skills are, but in terms of accomplishments, someone like a Richard Garfield, or
I'd like to hear what Richard Garfield has
who
to say.
invented Magic the Gathering.
Among other things, it's not his only claim to fame.
Right, someone like the guy who made Outlaw and founded Activision, made Pitfall, that we talked about.
Nah. What about Yoichi Arakawa, a.k.a. Ko Shibusawa? I'd like to hear what he has to say.
If he's good at
Koei.
There's plenty of people out there who have made great games and are very important people in the world of gaming that you haven't had done keynotes that could go ahead of someone like David
I don't know. I
Jaffe.
didn't know anything about Jaffe other than what he'd made going in. And sorry, dude, but I kind of see why a lot of people hate on you.
Yeah.
That was really uninspiring.
You should work on that.
But the Penny Arcade Q&A is worth mentioning because, one, our friend Timo from Finland,
He scored an A+ at Q&A asking.
he goes up there. It's on YouTube, but he basically is like, all right, so I have the official PAX candy. He has this candy from Scandinavia that says PAX.
Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Scandinavia, where is Finland?
In Scandinavia.
Yeah. He also had some salmiakki. You can figure out on your own what that is. And he made them play paper, rock, scissors to see who got to eat which one. And to their credit, they followed through.
Yep.
More importantly, Mike and Jerry, Gabe and Tycho, they've gone through a long journey, I think, of being, the personalities that they are, making the comic, becoming kind of the rock stars of nerds. It is really to their credit how good they have gotten at entertaining a crowd.
Well,
These two guys,
Mike's sort of the same as he always was, but Jerry definitely, I've seen
Jerry's
him.
leveled up. Like, Jerry's
Yeah,
gray
I've
shade.
seen him Q&A a bunch of times in a row now. Twice a year I see him do this. And this time, he was at least 1 or 2 levels above the last time he did
He made me laugh
or any
out loud.
previous time I've seen him before.
To a degree that almost hurt on multiple occasions in the QA.
His A-ing skills at the queuing have increased greatly. He is now, epic level at the Q&A. I can't wait to see if he maintains that epic level at East.
I don't think he can not maintain it.
Yeah, he's definitely, Mike's definitely got to up his game in some way. He's Mike.
He's got a good game. He's still
he
an
is
A.
how he is. He's still a good game, but he's not. He's got. If he leveled up, it would be so epic.
Mike's he's got like a B6 at this, but Jerry's he's got G now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it.
I don't know either.
If he goes white shade, everyone will just empty their bowels simultaneously.
Well,
when
you
the
won't
QA
even need
starts.
questions anymore. He'll just stand there.
It'll
and
just be stand-up comedy for an hour.
He won't even be stand-up comedy. He'll just answer the questions that you were going to ask.
Yep. So, last year I asked about ponies, and I was like, I should mess with them again.
Someone else did the ponies.
Yeah, ponies were
There were a lot of ponies at PAX.
Usually,
Lots.
last PAX, look how rapidly this escalated. Me and Scott were the only ones really pushing ponies
At PAX
East.
East.
Like, we played the PMV. We mentioned ponies in the panel. I asked about ponies in the Q&A.
Well, it's just because we're ahead of the geek curve, right? We read the internets almost every day.
We're so awesome,
right?
yay!
And we look at the internets and we see what's hot, and we explore down every path. And we explore in many different geekeries, not just tech,
Dude, by
not
the
just
time-
gaming, not just comics, not
Scott, by the time
we
PAX
cover
East
it
came
all.
out, we had already made a pilot of a show called Radio Free Equestrian
Exactly.
and put it on YouTube.
So it's like we're ahead of every curve, but and it's like we were playing DDR, and then everyone was playing DDR, and we're watching ponies, then everyone's playing
But Scott,
ponies.
we
If
are
you wanted to
also-
make investment decisions, just listen to whatever we talk about that isn't popular yet, and assume it's going to be popular.
So apparently farts.
Sure.
So
Parts are big now.
we're also really behind the curve, or at least we're holders, because we played Counter-Strike before most people played it. We still play it after most people don't play it anymore.
That's true.
But
It's coming back.
the ponies were everywhere. I didn't have to say a goddamn thing about ponies at this whole convention. Ponies, someone brought an 8-foot tall, Pinkie Pie, just to the convention.
I didn't see it, but I saw a video of it, so it's
There were
definitely
pony
real.
cosplayers.
A lot of buttoneers had pony buttons.
There was a Derpy Hooves in the Make-A-Strip.
That's 2 Make-A-Strips in a row where we've added ponies.
Yeah, what the fuck, guys? 2 Make-A-Strips. There's only 2 of these a year, and we are now batting 1,000.
We need to.
And neither one of these was us. It was not me or Scott to getting this in there. This is just unrelated.
We did
random
not
people.
push any pony, but meanwhile, the Unicorn Theater had ponies outside of it. So did the Manicore Theater.
Yeah, the enforcers were like pony fucking central.
Everybody ponying. Every day they pony in.
I don't know what to do about it.
I don't know. More hustling, less ponying.
Yep.
Season 2's coming.
Oh my God. I'm not going to say anything else about that. So we did one panel. It was
It was an
Discover the
okay
Forgotten
panel.
Masters. It was an experiment, and we tried it out. I learned a lot about how to do that kind of panel. And if we ever do,
I thought we would be spending a lot more time actually playing the games, but
I think we would have if we'd had fewer games to play.
I think if we actually would have been better off with more games to play.
I think it would have been fewer, but we should have had a match or bring someone from the audience. But the
Oh
panel
yeah,
was
we
okay.
could have brought people from the audience to actually play it.
Panel was okay, but the thing I really want to talk about, because this was an experiment for PAX, they did the tabletop workshops and the GMing workshops area. So we went up, and for 2 hours, we took over the room, we videoed it, and we taught everyone in there how to play Carcassonne, Puerto Rico, and Seven Wonders. And the people there loved it. I think it was a great
There
thing.
were very few people, but it was in a hidden room that was not
Hidden
on
room.
it was not on any schedule. So I'm amazed anyone showed up. But the fact that people showed up, stayed, and totally dug it
Of course, what was funny,
meant that our idea was actually a good idea. It was a good test of our idea.
and the
proved that it was
enforcers who put it
worthwhile.
together, they put all the effort in, they did everything right, and we're talking to help
They
out.
actually showed up with the games we needed.
We're talking to help them out and do this 10 times over at PAX East if we can.
Hope so.
But the funny and sad part was that at the end of the session, we're like, yeah, so, how many of you know who we are? And everyone's like, yeah.
That was kind of sad. Is that at our panel, which is about a little more than half full, I was like, who knows who we are? And most people knew who we were. It was like,
I know, it used to be like no one knew who we were, and by the end, they're like fawning over us. Now it's like, we got this Geeknights fan base at PAX.
We got to change the name of the panel to get people who don't know who we are to show up.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys, secret right now. There's a good chance the panel we're going to do, or at least our new panel at PAX East, I'm going to lay an egg out right now, It's called Let's Play Money Making Game.
We should just, in the description, be like, come to this panel. You might make money.
I think we should say, or pay me for the door. And that's the whole
Pay
description.
me for the door repair charge. Come to this panel, pay for the door repair charge, maybe walk out with cash.
But so the table art workshop thing went really well. But even at that, like everyone there knew who we were except one guy. So we're like, yes, if you guys, like this, check out Geeknights. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever, blah. And one guy's like, what? It was just kind of funny. But, our panel wasn't full. They're like the whole like back of the room
Didn't
was
seem like
empty.
any of the panels are full.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was
people
talking to-
kept lining up for panels, but then the panel room would not be full once people went in.
I was talking to a lot of enforcers about this, and yeah, panel attendance is down except for the things that always fill up. So all the penny arcade
well, there
stuff.
are more panel rooms,
But the penny arcade stuff fills no matter what room they put
and
it
the rooms
in.
are bigger.
The penny arcade-ish or related or like the same level stuff. Like Will Wheaton does a panel, it'll fill up. Or they do like the D&D
Scott
game they
Kurtz.
play. Yeah.
Yeah,
That stuff is
Acquisitions
filling up.
Incorporated, that stuff all fills.
As are the panels for games that people really fucking care about.
Like, oh my god, this panel is with, what was it? I think like Borderlands 2, didn't they give everyone like beta codes or
Yep.
something like that?
I heard the Pitch Your Game panel fills up and still fills up, but that's apparently really participatory and really funny and people enjoy it. But most of the panels at PAX don't fill up anymore, and I think personally, this is my opinion, is because one, most of the panels are kind of the same every year. Like, oh, here's the panel about girls in gaming. The panel goes like this. Hey, there's girls who play games. Don't be hating on us. Don't be ragging on us. Like, yeah, bring something else to the table. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. We don't need to talk about it again.
No. One thing I do want to talk about, which I made a YouTube video talking about, was the Omegathon finale, right?
Oh, my God.
So the Omegathon is always awesome. I'm going to keep my Rock'em Sock'em Robots guess until it happens.
I will maintain Crossfire just because
You got enough Crossfire.
if they play that song, people will lose their goddamn shit.
That's right. But anyway.
Sorry, wait. To Jaffeize that. Goddamn motherfucking vagina ass fuck shit.
Anyway, so Omegathon finale, we line up, we get in there, we're sitting pretty high up, we can see well enough. The big reveal comes, final countdown, bring out 2 Omeganauts, they looked high quality, Omeganauts.
Yep.
Most of the Omegathon games that year were mostly skill-based, very, very good.
Yep, Bananagrams, yo.
Bananagrams,
Also, the
excellent
Omegathon
choice.
finale is in the Paramount Theater, which is nice.
Awesome.
It is a choice venue.
Yep, so reveal comes, not Rock'em Sock'em Robots, not Crossfire, Zelda 1.
Now, at this point, it's something very important.
Everyone is, as soon as that music plays, everyone is just like, fuck yes.
The reason to be at the Omegathon finale is just for the way the crowd reacts. At the end of a tied hockey game for the Stanley Cup, the way the crowd is standing up and yelling, you get that about a video game.
Right, so Zelda 1, oh shit, son, it is on. How do you win? First person to get a Triforce fragment wins, which is understandable considering the time constraints, right? So, but then something else happened, right? They were like, before they revealed the game, they asked the Omeganauts to choose from amongst the failed Omeganauts
For a spirit animal.
for a spirit animal, a spirit guide to assist them. So that
Now-
was like, oh, is this going to be co-op?
They gave these people...
Is this going to be doubles Mario Tennis?
They gave these people facts.
Well, after the reveal of Zelda 1, they said, so I'm like, well, if it's Zelda 1 and it's first to get a Triforce fragment,
Blindfolded?
what is the spirit animal for? What is the spirit guide for? And we're thinking, blindfolded Zelda 1, blindfolded Zelda 1, fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck yes. It wasn't blindfolded. They gave the spirit animal a fac to guide the player. Now, this is understandable because let's say neither person knew Zelda 1. They were nubs who never played it before, right? In that case, we would have been there for hours. What if they went left? What if they went right? They would have died 100 times. They might never have found the first Triforce piece without that map that comes with the game.
This is why that's bullshit. They shouldn't have given the people a fact. They should have given them the Zelda 1 instruction book.
That's true. They should have given them the Zelda 1 instruction book and the map that came with Zelda 1.
Because that would have been enough, and that would have been cool.
Right.
But I want to point out
regardless,
something. The contest was get a piece of the Triforce. I feel like had I been up there, this would have been a disaster. I don't know what they would have done. I would have looked at the other guy and said, Dungeon 2? And then I would have gotten, but I would have gone to Dungeon 1 anyway.
Yeah, it's a trip to Japan is on the line. You can't go to Dungeon 2.
Saying Dungeon 2 does not say I'm going to Dungeon 2.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe the guy would agree to go to Dungeon 2.
Well, then you got to do it.
You got to get bombs, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they could have been like, they could just like gone around like getting money. They could have really like.
Yeah. Plus, who knows what that fact said? It could have been a speedrun fact for something. Who knows? Anyway. So they gave him a fact, which is understandable because if the players were not familiar with Zelda 1, we would have been there forever, right? Number 2, if one player was familiar and one player was not, it would have been incredibly unentertaining for the crowd to watch one person dominate and the other person get lost.
Kind of like why Dance Dance Revolution will never be the Omegathon finale, because you either are awesome at DDR or it's not fun to watch you play DDR.
Right.
There's no middle ground there.
There's a huge component of they always want it to be really close, right? They want it to be entertaining for the crowd.
I'm amazed at how close it is every year.
I am. So it's because I think they do incredible amounts of testing, right? They test the crane, they test everything to make sure that it's going to be really close. They change the rules and just to make sure that they maximize crowd entertainment. They don't maximize fair competition or anything like that. So in that regards, excellent job. Perfectly reasonable. But if you don't know how to get the first piece of the Triforce in Zelda 1 as quickly as possible, how are you even in the Omegathon?
Scott and I, what's funny is, the guy
how
on the
are
left,
you even at PAX? How can you call yourself a gamer? That's like, people call themselves a lot of things, right? Like, you identify yourself based on things you do. You might say, oh, yes, I am a singer. Well, what have you sung? Nothing. Oh, yes, I'm a big fan of Broadway. Well, have you seen Phantom of the Opera? No. Have you seen Cats? No, never.
Now, had this been
you seen Chicago? No.
Had they started them at Death Mountain and been like, be Ganon? Okay, I'd understand if people had some trouble.
Right, but it's like you call yourself a gamer and you identify yourself as a gamer enough such that A, you're going to PAX, B, you're signing up for the Omegathon, D, you're good enough to get to the end of the Omegathon,
and C,
and E, you've never played Zelda 1 and you need
No,
a
Scott,
fact.
to be fair, I can understand if someone, they knew where the first dungeon was, but they didn't remember exactly where Aquamentus was. I could understand that.
That's fine, because then at least, if you've at least played it, even if you weren't the master of it, which is understandable, it would still be pretty interesting to see you bump around in Dungeon 1.
But the guy on the right went right.
Yeah.
And wandered off, and then his spirit animal was like, no.
And the spirit animal could not point at the screen. They could only talk and read the fact, which is good.
But
still very disappointed. Very.
However, it was great because the competition was close anyway. The person with better skill clearly won.
Yes,
and more
but
importantly,
the thing is,
there's this moment where the guy on the left is in the dungeon, and he's going toward the wrong door. And Scott and I lost our shit. I was yelling louder than I've ever let. Simultaneously, Scott and I are like, he's toward the door.
He went north.
No.
He went.
No.
Here's the thing on the right. So he went north towards the bow, killed a few Staphyloses, and then went south. Now, I was told later that apparently he did this to get a heart, right? But that is the most retarded thing ever, because number one, you shouldn't have gotten hit, but you already hit, so you need the heart to get full health to use.
The guy on the right died outside of the dungeon.
You need the magic sword to shoot Aquamentus, because getting the bow takes too long. And you know where you're gonna get arrows anyway, so it's understandable. But
arrows, yeah,
right.
Scott, yeah.
But if you needed hearts, you could have killed the Master Hands in the room before Aquamentus.
Oh my God, the Master Hands was actually quite a tense moment because
the thing is, but because
the guy needed the key, right? The key ended up being in the bottom right, and the hands kept coming out, and the guy
key is always in the bottom right.
Yeah, but the first guy got in like the hands, like he just avoided him right away. The first guy just missed him, and there was just like 4 hands in a row came up right on the key.
So I went yesterday. I made a YouTube video. You can watch it. I did a test where I tried to do the Omegathon finale challenge of get the Triforce piece as quickly as possible. I turned on an emulator. I plugged an Xbox 360 controller. I created a new game, and I just went for it. First try. I didn't get hit once. Not once at all. I did it in about 2 minutes and a few seconds. And in that room with the Master Hands, I just walked over, grabbed the key, and walked right up without touching any of the Master Hands. And, I wasn't speed running or anything. There's plenty of times.
So Scott, here's what I did.
There's plenty of times where I go slow, like I just walk into a tree for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens in Zelda 1.
So here's what I would have done. This is just what I would have done if I were Mike and Jerry. So same exact competition with the same exact FAQ. It would have been the second quest. I wouldn't have said shit about that.
Fuck yeah.
Just imagine. Everything would be fine until they get into that dungeon.
Well, you would have known because you would have seen the sword on the opening character select screen.
I'd come up with some way around that. I would have started the game paused or something.
But then you couldn't have had the epic reveal where the music plays.
I could have had the reveal and then some save states.
But they weren't using emulators, using real NES.
Yeah,
which is
is
the only
dangerous.
fair way. It's the only fair way.
It's fair, but it's dangerous.
Not if you've tested the NESs thoroughly.
Yeah, but NES could glitch out of nowhere.
No, they get top loaders or in toasters or something. Anyway, slight disappointment with gamers worldwide not playing Zelda 1. If you, listening to this, have not played and beaten Zelda 1, at least the first
right
quest,
now. Don't even listen anymore.
You do not count. You have no pride. All your pride is erased. Instead, you are covered in a mountain of shame.
You don't have
to remove this mountain of shame, you must beat Zelda 1 first quest.
You don't have to beat the second quest.
Do not use a FAQ. You can only look at a map of the very beginning of the game that came with Zelda 1. If you need a JPEG of this map or the instruction manual, I'm sure you can find it on Google.
I think back as a kid,
that's the only equipment you are allowed to use. I
wonder, I can't imagine how I found some of that stuff. I think I just burned every fucking bush.
I burned every bush.
With a blue candle.
I burned a lot of bushes with the blue candle, but I got the red candle eventually.
I was so excited when I got that red fucking candle.
I burned so many goddamn bushes with the red candle. Friggin', if I was burning bushes in real life, I'd be like the most crazy arsonist ever.
Moses would be proud.
Is there any other PAX?
So there's one other thing we should talk about. Cons seemed a lot more crowded this year. Now, one thing is, they may have sold more badges. Another thing was that panel attendance is down, and Halo Fest took up a whole bunch of space without a lot of content, so it might have pushed more people into the gaming areas. But there was some counterfeit badges.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there were counterfeit badges in the past.
There were,
but this year there was a counterfeit badge epidemic.
I would guess there were 500 to 1,000 counterfeit badges.
There was a lot of counterfeit badges.
That's me guessing. That's not based on anything PAX told us. But PAX gave us as a gift. We're calling them stars now. But they gave us.
If you don't know, in Mario Party, a negative star is a star.
Which is kind of famous for us because we were in. This was the same time we had the bamboo and the vision.
Yes.
But we were playing Mario Party for the championship belt teams. And we weren't doing that well. We were doing okay. We're holding our own.
It was tied.
In one round, the other team got a star, gave us a star. We got another star because of a Bowser game, and random bullshit gave us another star.
It was bullshit.
In one round, we went from neck and neck to there is no hope. There was no Obi-Wan.
And we lost.
And then the bamboo.
Anyway.
So these are stars. It's like an anti-artifact. But there are some pretty sophisticated counterfeit badges, and I'm amazed. This is one of the reasons why, on the East Coast, a lot of the fan cons are really afraid of counterfeit badges. But one, I've seen counterfeit badges on the East Coast, and they're like baby's first counterfeit.
They're jokes.
It's like, kid, you have a black and white photocopy, and you put some tinfoil where the hologram is. Really? Yeah. Or you've got last year's badge. You thought that would work?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that does work. At Otakon, at Katsucon, at all the East Coast cons, seriously, baby's first counterfeit gets past baby's first convention security.
Yep.
But the West Coast has real security teams, like the people who do, like the green shirts in the convention center. I want them to come home and just help me out with stuff because they're the best people ever.
Yep.
They caught counterfeits to a degree that was amazing.
They didn't catch all of them. That's impossible. But they caught a significant number, very significant number.
Now, the thing is, these counterfeits, the turnaround time on these things, I imagine, is pretty quick to the point that I feel like even if PAX did not mail out the badges, we'd have these things by Saturday.
Yep.
So we're not going to talk about what's going to be done about this. We've heard some things. We've talked to some people, but We're going to let PAX handle all that because it's not our game.
It's not our game, but I do have some suggestions, and a lot of people out there are making dumb suggestions, and all you people making dumb suggestions.
Yeah. First of all you people who said don't mail the badges,
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. No, we've been down that road. Otakon has 15,000 people line up Thursday night. That sucks.
Right. So, some people are just like, oh, slap a hologram on it. That's really not good enough, right? Some people like put a barcode on it. It's like, dude, barcode works at a baseball game because there's no re-entry. They scan everything once, and then you get in through a turnstile, and you never leave.
Well,
that's why a barcode works.
So barcode works in one situation. It works if they're not. You see, everyone who says barcode or QR code or serial number seems to think that you're going to have people checking these as you go into the comm. No.
No.
The way you use that is you tie your name to a badge. So when you buy a badge, your name is tied to that barcode. And the badge, like you can hit a thing and it's legit. So maybe if you sell your badge to someone, you transfer the ownership on the PAX website. But there's no way to see who owns a badge unless you scan the barcode and you make it in such a way that it can't just be scanned by someone walking by. Like you're like, here, check it out.
Yep.
Like scan my badge. One, I'm sure they could make some deal where like booths scan badges and have raffles or whatever. Two, you make an iPhone app and an Android app, and if someone's scalping a badge, you scan it and you be like, all right, Joey Jojo Shabadoo, the website says that you don't own a badge, so what's this shit you're trying to sell me?
Yeah, or the website says this badge, right, belongs to so-and-so.
But that's not your name.
What's your name?
Huh. Of course, the easy way to tell the counterfeits is to grab someone's badge and rip it in two down the bottom. They were plastic. They were just cardboard with laminate.
Yeah.
They just tore right in half.
But I mean, really what it comes down to is, obviously people who buy counterfeit badges are victims, right? They didn't know they were buying counterfeit badges, especially when it's such a convincing badge. But at the same time, we can't, there's no way to stop counterfeiters altogether.
Here, let's put it this way.
The only thing you can do.
I bought, this is the example you were using at the con. If I bought a counterfeit ticket to a Red Wings game and I show up at the stadium, they're not letting me in. I'm lucky they don't arrest me.
That's right. So we nearly need to be like, look, people, if you're buying a badge from an unlegitimate source, it's up to you to verify if it's real or not. And if you fail at that, well, and that's the only way to prevent counterfeiting is to get the people who are buying the badges to be really,
Now, here's another thing I might do.
Skeptical.
Let's say, because, PAX's policy, I don't officially know what it is, and I'm not going to talk about what they may or may not have done. Suppose that they took people who got counterfeit badges and made some sort of deal. Like they gave them a real badge instead.
You can't. You already sold all your badges, fire marshal.
So we can't do that. Let's say we have a deal with the the fire marshal or whatever, where we have X capacity for more badges, which one cuts down on people who can get into PAX. That sucks.
Yep.
But at the same time, you use it where, all right, kid, you've got a counterfeit badge. You can buy a real badge, but you got to pay full price right now.
Yeah, but then I'll just buy instead of it'll sell out, and then I'll just buy counterfeit and show up, and that way it won't matter that it's sold out. I get in anyway. That's
so there aren't good solutions. You see what I'm getting at here? There isn't really every way to handle this.
I have a solution.
Well, Scott, your solution's a little but go on.
You should make the badge ridiculously awesome. Perhaps even make it so awesome.
Scott, make it like the MagFest badges, the special ones.
Like the
it's the special MagFest badges.
No, but like DEF CON badges with electronics in them. Make the badge so ludicrously advanced and expensive that the badge itself might be $30. Right?
And then raise the price. No, here's the thing. So it's got a USB port on it. Raise the price of the badge by $10 and sell space on that USB in the badge to vendors.
So you would both the badge, you would make money from people advertising in the badge, not on the badge, but in it, right? And simultaneously, PAX should be a flat rate. Or maybe, it should be still accessible to people in terms of price. But really, you need to raise the price a little bit.
A little bit, $10.
Make it $65, $75 at the most for the PAX badge instead of $50, right?
Yeah, because anime cons charge way more than you.
Also, only sell weekend badges.
Yeah, there's no reason to have single-day badges because I posit to you, almost anyone who buys a single day badge has bought 2 or 3 of them.
I mean, it's like you want PAX to be inclusive, to make it as accessible as possible. There are people who can only make it for one day. There are people who don't have enough money for the 3-day. They want to, but if they can go for one day, that'll make them happy.
But nobody does that. Everyone who buys a Friday and a Sunday badge did so because they were out of 3-day and Saturday badges.
There are a lot of people who just buy 1, 2, 3, and also, while I agree it should be accessible to, and inclusive, there's also the fact that, some people are just more dedicated to PAX, and a dedicated person to PAX is going to go all 3 days.
Yep, if you really want it.
The only sad thing is that somebody might buy a weekend pass and not use all 3 days, and then someone else might be denied a day that was available.
But if you're not using all 3 days, sell your badge to someone as you're leaving.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But so imagine this: you get your badge. It's kind of thick and cool and light. It's got a USB thing on it, and I was looking into this for Geeknights. It's pretty cheap to in bulk buy tiny MP3 players with preloaded content, like tens of thousands of them. Like, it's surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, there's a lot of fancy electronic things, LEDs. You can RFIDs, full hologram, not a tiny hologram.
But
sticker,
imagine this: you
full
get your badge
hologram.
in the mail, right? What's on it? An unreleased episode of PATV. All the demos to games that the publishers paid to put on them. A League of Legends item.
Yep, all that kind of crap could be on that USB stick when your badge comes in the mail.
Maybe a game that is part of some sort of PAX,
Yeah, maybe you can put badges together and then do some sort of thing with them, or get them scanned at different locations. And then what you do, right, is you don't have any particular badge checking spot, right? You don't have everyone here has to check badges and then there's a big clusterfuck of traffic. What you do is
other than what they already do at the entrances they do. That works fine.
Right, but what you do is, for example, there's a bunch of people waiting for a panel. They're just sitting. So you have an enforcer just casually walk down the line, hey, can I see everyone's badge? Everyone hold your badge up. And maybe he just goes beep, 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 just down the line of people who are waiting for the panel. There's already people waiting there anyway. They're already not moving. The enforcer's already just sitting there waiting to open the door, right? There's usually 2 or 3 of them at a panel door, right? Any place like that in the convention, a line to play a game, any line or any waiting area, people are waiting in line for the Omegathon finale or the keynote. Just have one enforcer go down the line.
If you just did that, that kind of sucks, because that's visible security, whatever. It's not a good thing for the vibe of the con.
Huh.
So what you do is, because we've got these serial numbers, every time you do that, you do a mini raffle right there for some tiny thing.
Right. It's also
all right, everyone in line, we're doing a raffle.
It's a combination security check in the guise of not just a raffle, but also a check-in. Right? So you can go log into the PAX site and see all the things you did. And also, Penny Arcade will have data about who checked in where for what events to see where the traffic is flowing, what's more popular, what's less popular, what people like. That's very valuable information that most conventions don't have. There's so many benefits, and of course, beep, 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 dude, your badge ain't real. Yeah, come with me. Right?
Yep.
So that's what they need to do. Make a fancy badge, get the money for it by increasing the con price and also selling badge stuff, and then check it in places where people aren't doing anything, and it wouldn't hurt to check.
I mean, beyond that, we played a lot of goddamn games. PAX was awesome. I think I played more games at this PAX than any other PAX.
Yeah, but I didn't play a lot of games I never played before, which
is fine, because half the reason I go is to play new games like Marrakesh.
Yeah, this PAX
and half the reason I go is to play games I've
Marrakesh,
already played.
Buy that shit.
I'm gonna buy that shit. Fuck you.
I'll buy that shit.
Is that I like to play games I know with people who also know those games who I normally don't get to play them with, or I don't get to play these games that often.
That was the most of this PAX. Next PAX, though, I hope to do more of the games I never played before with maybe people I don't know.
Yeah, and sorry, MagFest dudes, I actually kept not having time to stop into your jam space and say hi.
Yeah, but now I have a mission though. I learned something this PAX is that I've sort of been experiencing the same part of PAX over and over again. I think in the long run, I'm going to go to tons and tons of PAXs, right? I think I want to do every aspect of PAX. So I think I got to be an enforcer once, at least. I think I'm going to try to be an Omeganaut once, at least, right? I'm going to try to do everything.
Oh,
eventually.
I would go for Omeganaut. At East, I think, because I kind of dig the co-op
Maybe I'll
games.
be Expo Hall once, I'm going to try to do everything at PAX once in all the years of PAXs. So we'll see.
Yep. And on that note, we will see you at PAX. It's not that far away.
Nope.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.